Courage isn't loud. I'm going to say that again for the instant people that just joined us. Courage isn't loud. It's repeated. See, it's like this. Today we is on Stand Fast Saturday. And well, long story short, courage isn't loud. It's repeated. See, people think courage is the shout. People think courage is the roar, roar, dinosaur, roar, roar. The moment you stand on a mountain and yell out and saying, "Here I am, I'm up here on top of the mountain, I made it. Look at me, I am special." My mama always told me I was special. But no, real courage, real courage. I said it best this morning when I was out on my morning walk. Real courage is those quiet times when you stumble, when you fall, when you get back up. Real courage is that quiet decision that we make when nobody is watching, when nobody is there, when nobody is around. Because, well, if it wasn't for people not being around at that point, would you really just get up? Or just lay there, "Oh, I'm so depressed. Oh, I fell down and I can't get up." I've heard that before. We've all heard that before. "Oh, the farmer's burying me alive. What am I going to do?" No. Courage is when we decide to get back up. When we decide to get on our knees and step up with our legs creaking and shaking and hurting, on our knees hurting, and we get back up. See, today is Stand Fast Saturday, and it was a good day. When I say Stand Fast Saturday, I mean it's a day that we stop running. We stop hiding. We stand firm in who we are becoming. Because, I'm going to tell you about the little lies that we tell ourselves. We grew up believing courage was dramatic. I mean, how many of you have seen an action adventure movie? Whether it's Christmas movies like Die Hard, where whatever Bruce Willis is crawling around in the air ducts, saying, "I'm supposed to be. It's a Christmas party," and he saves everybody at the Nakatomi Plaza. Or the following year when he's at the New York airport and he saves everybody at the airport. Well, he doesn't save everybody at the airport. He captures the Cuban terrorist or whatever his name was. Or we watch something like the Matrix and we see how Neo changes the world, or changes the world as we know it, and becomes a hero because he believes there is no spoon. Yeah, doesn't work for me. See, we grew up believing that that was courage, that drama, that cinematic drama was what the height of all heroes were, and what courage is, and that you got to try and be it, like the Cowardly Lion from The Wizard of Oz. I'm scared. I need courage. And he's so scared he's grabbing his tail and running around and back. Rawr, rawr, dinosaur. See, we grew up believing that that was courage, but it's not. Movies taught us that that was courage. That the final battle scene where the hero saves everybody and gets the girl and the happily ever after, all that other good stuff like that. Movies, the cinemas taught us that that was courage. Social media teaches us that courage is the viral moment. Whether we're going in a shopping store and throwing gallons of milk on the floor just to create a scene, woo, yeah, I'm so cool. I could splash milk on the floor and create a mess and get yelled at as I run out the door. Stupid. Sorry. Personal opinion. Personal opinion. Or social media teaches us that courage is standing in the middle of a mall dancing in front of everybody, for 30 or 40 seconds. But that's not courage. I mean, yeah, it takes a little courage, some little craziness actually, but more craziness than courage. I'll be honest on that one. But courage is the morning you get up after coming home the night before and getting fired. Courage is getting up the morning after the day before you found out you've got cancer. Courage is getting up the morning after coming home after finding out about your divorce or your breakup or the special somebody passing away that you can't live without. Courage is the text you send to that person that you really like and you want to try and know more about them. So as you're sending it, your hands are shaking. Or maybe perhaps courage is that text you send for that job all-time job that you want. Courage is the dream you keep working on, even when nobody is clapping for you. Courage is the dream you keep working on, even when people say you're crazy, or when they tell you you'll never do it, or when they tell you that the market's oversaturated, or when they tell you you'll never make any money in that, or when they tell you that's a scam, or when they tell you that you're too stupid for it. It takes courage to stand up. Now, me, I was kicked out of high school after winning a congressional award, after going to a statewide science fair and getting honorable mention and getting scholarships and a whole 9 yards, after getting a couple of religious awards. And yet they still kicked me out of high school for wearing gang colors. Zero policy, zero tolerance, whatever it's called. I was wearing dress shoes. I was a nerd. Zero tolerance. I love it. So I ended up having to rebuild, find an alternative school to go to. In that process, I ended up trying and getting mixed in with the wrong crowd and well, had my little lottery issue. Oopsie. Lost everything. Lost friends, lost family, lost my job, lost my business, lost my freedom too. Ended up spending some time in jail because of it. And then that was loud. That wasn't courage. Those were moments when I thought about just saying, I'm done. Time for that dirt nap, if you know what I'm saying. I've thought about it back then. I didn't. I rebuilt. It took courage to wake up the next morning, and the day after that, and the day after that, and the day after that. To build a security company, to build an internet company. It takes courage to try and finally say one day that, hey, you know what? I'm losing my ass with a security company. I'm out, and file bankruptcy and lose everything again. But I still have my internet business. That lasted. That kept me going. That kept me going all the way until 2000. Because see, after my mother passed away, up until that point, I was rebuilding. And I rebuilt good. I bought my house, almost had it paid off. Had my internet service going really well in Chicagoland. Making money hand over fist. I started a computer store. Money hand over fist. Then my mother passed away. I watched her over 2 years. 2 years watched as doctors slowly but surely cut parts of her off because of a flesh-eating disease that turned into sepsis that ultimately took her life. Watched her the day before she finally passed away. Watched her as she was trying to turn herself off because she was on life support. They actually had to strap her to the bed because she kept trying to turn herself off. Talking about emotional damage. Emotional damage! I can't do it. Where's Stephen Yu when I need him, right? After she passed away. Things that she told me on her deathbed during that time period of sitting with her for those 2 years, watching them hack away at her, is to always regret the things that you've done, than regret the things that you wanted to do, but never did. I'm going to say that again for you. Regret the things that you've done instead of the things that you wanted to do, but never did. So a year after my mother passed away, I sold my house, I sold my internet business, I sold quite a few other things as well too. I sold everything, and I bought my 80 acres of woods with a house, my dreamland. And because, well, I'm an entrepreneur, I bought a small computer store in the middle of nowhere town, Indiana, less than 5 miles away from my house. What happens? I'm left standing there a week before Christmas, half naked, watching it burn down, and everything that I own inside of it gone. Everything. Yeah. Talking about reset, right? Talking about depression, right? We're talking about the idea behind it, that at that point, I considered very highly that moment when I was sitting in jail. The same feeling. Just laying down and pulling the dirt over and be done with it. But you know what? That's where WOW came in. That's where the 3 A's came in. I had to assess where I was at and withstand it. I had to assess my life, not the loud parts, but the quiet ones. I had to realize that it took courage to wake up the next morning to show back up. Oh, thank you.
Chicken. Let's go chicken. I don't care. We're leaving. Say bye to Demon.
Bye to Demon. Good night, Demon.
Bye, Demon. A kiss.
All right. Good night, babe. I love you. 6 o'clock?
No, 6:30. I'm not waking up that early.
Okay.
You're funny.
All right.
Actually, 6:45.
All right, 7 o'clock. Got it.
Go. Love you, Dad.
Love you too, babes. Good night.
Love you.
Love you too. See, I had to assess where I was in my life. I had to try and withstand the storms. I had to outlast the challenges that were put in front of me. Basically, starting over, literally over. I mean, I literally had a pair of shorts. I had to borrow clothes from one of my best friends till I could buy some clothes. My wallet was in a house that burnt down. Who keeps their credit cards and their debit cards in their wallet? How about ID? Yeah. Yep. You see where I'm going here with this. My clothes, my wallet, my cell phone, my car keys. I couldn't drive anywhere because my car keys were in a house that burnt down. I couldn't go and buy anything because my wallet was in a house that burnt down. I had a pair of shorts. The only way I was able to get into my business in town was through the keys from my employee that I had to meet in my pajama shorts, barefoot, the next day. Which coincidentally, her husband let me borrow clothing because, well, he was about the same size I was at that time. So yeah, so I pretty much tried and had to restart. But you know what? It took courage to wake up the next morning. It took courage to stand back up after that. It took courage to show up to work while still grieving everything. Because I lost my dogs. I lost everything my mom, left me. All my childhood's gone. It took courage to keep going to work. And you know what? That healing from trauma took courage to heal silently. The only support I had building that business, that computer store, was my employee. And while no offense against employees, they're great and all, they're lovely, except nobody is going to love your business more than you. And so nobody understands the concept of you working till 1, 2 o'clock in the morning on your dream. And you know what? Some of us have to have courage to show up while grieving after losing somebody we care about. Some of us have to have courage to parent while we're exhausted, working 2 jobs, and still have to come home to kids. I've been there. I've got 2 teenagers, single parent here. Some of us have to still have courage to heal from the trauma of an accident or something that happened to us that we never planned. Or courage to build that business without support. Or better yet, courage to stay sober one more day. I know a lot of people that were alcoholics or drug addicts, and it's hard for them. It's hard. And it takes a lot of courage to make it through the day sometimes. And you know what else takes a lot of courage? The people out there that choose peace over revenge. Because I don't know about you, but I know myself, I've had quite a few people stab me in the back. And I've carried grudges against them, but then I realized, you know what? I'm giving them free rent in my head. I'm giving them free rent in my heart. I'm giving them free rent in my life when they really didn't even care about mine. And so why give them such free rent of my life, of my time, of my capacity when they didn't give a shit about me? So I wish the best of luck to them. I've got clients that owe me $14,000 I'm talking to right now that wants his passwords to his camera server so he can switch to another vendor. I'm sorry to hear that. You can access all your camera footage, but I'm not going to let you change all the passwords on the cameras. They're leased. They're leased. You know, you don't want me coming in and repossessing them, so pay me for them, and I'll give you all the passwords you want. You know? Got another client that owes me $60-something thousand for his camera systems. Together, that's $70-something thousand. Wow, huh? What could you do with $70,000? I know what I could do with $70,000. It's called Stormwalker Outpost. Because see, courage isn't the moment you post a message. It's the moment you repeat your ability to stand back up after falling. It's the moment you trying to decide to focus on your habit, because your habit is your power. Because courage becomes powerful when it becomes part of your identity. See, you need to stop saying, I need courage. I need to be braver. I got to this. I got to that. I know I say that myself. And this is actually very touching to me because I say that to myself. I have to overcome my fear of making phone calls. I'm not going to lie on that one. I hate making phone calls. The whole reason why I had a pizza place, a security company, an internet service, is so that people could call me, get service, get what they needed, and go. The reason I had a computer store is so I had a sign on the side of the building and people would come in and pay me to fix their computers and walk out. Trust me, I can't stand making calls to high schools. Hi, how you doing? I'm Mobed. I'd like to come and talk to your kids about bullying and overcoming bullying and issues like that. But you know what? I need courage to make those phone calls. And in order to try and do that, I've been changing my wording around from I need courage to I am someone who repeats courage, because I repeat courage on a daily basis. Every time I do a post, every time I go live, every time I pick up the phone, I'm repeating courage. And that's how I anchor my mornings, by one brave decision. In the afternoons, it's one uncomfortable action. And at night before bed, one honest reflection. Because see, anchoring your courage means you don't wait for the moment, you create it. The thing is that when you create your moments, you're creating momentum, you're creating emotion, you are acting. There's my 3 A's. Anybody? Assess, anchor, action. Because courage compounds. Repeated courage creates consistency. Consistency creates confidence. Confidence becomes your calling. And once you have that, once you have your calling, you have your identity. You know who you are. You know where you're going. You know what you're doing. It becomes second nature. So do the thing that you've been avoiding. And do it again tomorrow. And what are we going to do the day after that? Hey, Alicia, we're going to do it again. And we're going to do it again. And we're going to do it again and again and again and again and again and again. And if you keep doing it every day for a week, you're going to have a tremendous, courageous week. If you do it every week for a month, you're going to have a tremendously courageous month. And if you do it every month for a year, you're going to have a tremendously courageous year. And you keep doing that year after year after year, you're going to have a courageous life. That's the secret. I just gave you the secret of life. Doing one small thing for yourself on a daily basis and repeating it. Because you know what? That's what consistency does. Consistency builds your confidence up so that you can. So that you can change your identity. So you can focus on your dreams. So you can focus on your goals. So you can focus on your future. Because you know what? You have survived storms that people have never seen. You've carried weight. You've carried things. You've carried stories that people have never helped you lift. And you've endured seasons that would have crushed other people. Incoming cat. And you know what? Apart from withstanding and outlasting it, you've owned your own story. You've owned your scars. You've owned your own journey. Courage isn't pretending. It's owning the truth of who you are and what you've done. and how you keep standing up after falling. And that is winning. And winning isn't loud. It isn't luck. Winning is a result of repeated courage. Because when you repeat courage on a daily basis, that's when your winning moment becomes undeniable. That's when your winning moment shows off the courage that you have. Because you know what? You don't need a louder courage. You need repeated courage. Because repeated courage builds your marriage. Repeated courage builds your business. Repeated courage builds your confidence. Repeated courage builds your legacy that your kids will follow, that your kids will hear, that your kids will see, that your grandkids will see. See, you're not falling, you're not failing, you're not a failure, you're a winner. You're forming. Because you withstood more than people know. You've owned more than people seen. It's time to win in a way that nobody can ignore. It's time to have that courage to step up and make your next move your loudest one yet. It's time to commit to one act of courage on a daily basis. Now, I believe in you. You need to believe in you. And that's the first start. Next start is go to my bio and join my school community. It's free. There, tomorrow night, I'm hosting a activation call where we'll open up the floor. It'll be in a school community. We'll open up the floor where people can try and talk, and I'll answer questions, and we can go from there.